Okay, here we are, folks. I know. Taking my time, didn't I? Okay. Uh, oh boy, I just had to get some dishes done and stuff like that. But anyway, before we get into the reading and continuing on with the reading, I'm gonna go ahead and do a reaction to two videos which I thought they were just too cringeworthy to not mention, and they really are. They absolute cringe. So let's get into it here. We've got a first one, which is a clip from the first one is a clip from Vosh, and the second one is from the neocon dude himself. Well, let's get into it, shall we?
The mask is off, people. I am a Nazi sympathizer.
Why the hell does my audio sound like shit? Oh well, sorry.
The mask is off, people. I am a Nazi sympathizer. Not kidding. Well, really depends on your definitions, right? I posted this excellent meme. Observe. Soviet bouncy ball taken as war loot by Finnish forces, Petrozavodsk, 1941. And you see the funny masculine man who is smiling has the bouncy ball.
This is a meme that he reposted. Okay. It's not even about the meme. The meme and the guy don't even matter. But what he says about the Finnish war, or the war between the Finns and the Soviets, is mega cringe. And I imagine that Finnish Bolshevik is eventually going to get this and absolutely blow him out of the water. But still, absolute cringe. Yep. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. My goodness. Posting cringe.
The Soviet soldier is crying because they don't have the bouncy ball. But it means I'm a Nazi.
And make sure here. Can everyone hear the video? Because I feel like this is some, I don't know why my audio sounds like crap. Maybe it's just because I just plugged in the mic. Anyway, oh well.
Sympathizer now, because the Finnish forces worked alongside Nazi Germany to fight the USSR. It's actually really interesting history-wise. I know this person. Operating...
Let me make sure here, yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Oh, boy.
Concentration camps in Karelia to own the tankies. Vosh sharing memes made by Fasci's epic style. They really got to this one, didn't they? Hold on, there's more if you go down.
There we go. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, tankies don't like Nazis. Go figure. 500 likes. Finnish invasion of East Karelia. Interesting they don't mention the Winter War before this, where the USSR invaded Finland.
Okay. Let's get some look. Let's get some things straight before he goes on about the Finns and everything else like that. The thing is that to try to be fair to history, is that Molotov tried to make a deal with the Finns and said, hey, can we have some bases here, here, and here? And the Finns said no. And basically because of that, you had the Soviets invade. And this was a huge mistake, really, because obviously the Soviets weren't prepared. They just did, they just basically sent tanks out there and sent folks out there without the proper clothing and everything else like that. And it was a huge, huge mess. And, but like I say, it was basically just for a couple bases here and there. But yeah.
Very interesting. They start the ball right there. Why I left the...
Let me see here. Yeah. Can hear it fine. Yeah. I would like to see an old Soviet boomer push Vosh in the face. Yeah. Binland. Yeah. Oh boy.
Left for fascism video win. These people are actually siding with the Nazi sympathize to own the tankies. So yeah. I guess we can do a little bit of media analysis here. So
look, like I say, let me be careful here, because the thing is, I'm going to hold more of a centrist view here and realize that it's kind of complicated. And ultimately, Vosh kind of says that too. But I think that his oversimplification, look, burgers in general, and I say this as a burger myself, burgers in general should not be talking about what happened in the Second World War. We shouldn't. All right. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We should not talk about it because we have no business talking about it. But secondly, this is what happens when you go down the mud tankies and I don't like the Soviet Union rabbit hole long enough, where it's like, I'm going to share a funny meme to own the tankies. Oh, it's got the fins in there. Who cares? I'm going to go ahead and try to defend the fins. Yeah. Okay, bro.
I like to operate on the principle of charitability, meaning that if you want to do a good job understanding other people, you shouldn't be incredibly uncharitable in your interpretation of their values, okay? So, considering the fact that the humor in this meme is that the muscle man hold the bouncy ball, do you need to be a Nazi?
It's a Giga Chad. I mean, at least get the meme right. At least do that. It's a Giga Chad. Come on. Go ahead.
To appreciate the merits of this meme? I'm going to talk about how much they're twisting history in a second, but like...
No.
Actually, it's the bouncy ball. It's like, only Nazis would like this one. That's easier said than done, though. Yeah, of course. Anyway, it's actually really, 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 really interesting because Nazis like balls wash, so they need to project somehow. Yeah, well, obviously.
And wasn't that funny? Comrade Yamada, you're only saying that because you're a tanky. The bouncy red ball is funny as fuck. Okay? Anyway, the interesting thing about this is that Finland actually had an incredibly interesting history in World War II. I only remember bits and pieces, but I looked it up like I think a year or two ago because it was really interesting.
What is
I didn't know, was Finland an Axis or an Allied power? Actually,
yeah, I would agree.
Turns out, so here's the thing. Finland was initially not involved in the war, and then they were invaded by the Soviet Union unprompted.
Okay, so let's stop right there for a minute. The thing is that I have to give it to Finnish Bolshevik for at least teach me a little bit of history here. So they become independent from the Russian Empire, and Finland becomes its own country. Okay, you have the Finnish Communist Party, who does try to take hold. They, have the Heimostad and all these other events that did occur, but ultimately, they did try to silence them. And you had you had Mannerheim. Mannerheim didn't even speak Finnish. He spoke German. He could barely speak Finnish. It's one of those things where it's just like, it's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it's just such bullshit. This is, like I said, this is the ultimate type of bullshit that you get into where it's just like, oh yeah, well, I'm trying to own these folks, bro. It's just like, no, you're not owning anybody. You're owning yourself.
Soviet Union invaded them. Finland repelled them and then worked with the Nazis to invade.
No. Okay. That is absolute feijoa. Finland continued to get supplies even during the Winter War. And of course, Finland took a fair amount of Soviet arms and made them their own, But the thing is that they act like, oh, well, then they started working with the Nazis. No, that's kind of cringe. The thing is that once the Continuation War happened in 1941, then there were some German units that were involved, such as the sixth SS Mountain Division Nord, I believe, if I'm thinking right. Now, it wasn't until then, and until 1944, when the Finns made a deal with the Soviets to say, yeah, okay, we'll give you Karelia as long as you leave us the hell alone. And they basically chased the Germans out of Finland. Now, he mentions this in brief, but that's what needs to be talked about. I remember that there was this, I remember seeing this poster. I mean, I've seen it online. I'm sure that y'all have seen it too, where it's like, our former Finnish friends are trying to kick us out or something like that. It's just, and they fought them back and then slowly, got out of Finland. But it's like, come on, man. Very disingenuous. This is like, I'm going to stand for Finland just to own the tankies. It's just, no, it's just cringe, man.
The USSR. But the military and governance of Finland was actually incredibly antagonistic to Nazi Germany. Finland was
Mannerheim was the president of Finland, or technically a prime minister. Let me see here. Let me check. Yeah, he was the president of Finland. That's it. Yeah, Carl Gustav Emil Mannerheim. He was in the Tsarist army for a while and was basically called out of retirement. But yeah, there was a lot of suppression and everything else like that. So a lot of the communists were killed. So let's look at the history here a little bit. Imperial Russian Army, rising by 1917 to the rank of lieutenant general. Prominent place in the ceremonies of Tsar Nicholas II's coronation in 1896. Had several private meetings with the Tsar after the Bolshevik Revolution. Finland declared its independence, but soon became embroiled in civil war between the pro-red Bolshevik Reds and Whites, who were troops of the Senate of Finland, supported by troops of the German Empire. So even back then, they were getting support from the Germans. Mannerheim was appointed to the military chief of the Whites, blah, 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 blah. Ancestry. The Mannerheims, originally from Germany, became Swedish noblemen in 1693. Once again, this is why royalty is cringe. It's like, that's why that people are like, why do you care about the British royalty? They're German. They're German by blood, you know? But it's like, you know. So obviously you're a rich kid. That's all you need to know. Hamina Cadet School, service in the Imperial Russian Army. Region of Finland. But yeah, basically, visited by Adolf Hitler. Basically, you know, in this very, very famous meeting, there's some clips of Hitler and Mannerheim talking. And the thing is that ultimately, it went nowhere, basically. And Mannerheim was basically just trolling Hitler in a lot of ways. And basically, he was just like, we're going to do what we want, you know. And there were SS units that were, you know, or Finnish troops that were in the SS, is what I meant to say. But it's like, so, yeah. It's just kind of ridiculous, to say the least, you know. But yeah. Yeah, the Brits supported the Great Reset. That's cringe, yeah. No king but Christ. Amen. Amen to that, yeah. Same with Russian royalty. Yeah, exactly. They're German. Yeah. Vietnam was fascist. Exactly.
was the only government that worked with Nazi Germany that rejected their military command and that refused a formal allyship.
Whoa! Rejected military command. The hell are you talking about? They had German units in Finland, and you had Finnish SS troops that they had limitations. They were only there stationed around Leningrad. That's one of the more important things that you need to remember, is that they did have Finnish troops, part of Army Group North, but they were only for the Leningrad front. They could not be sent to Army Group Center or to Army Group South. Only Army Group North. It's a very important distinction, but it's like, to say that this is, he's being very disingenuous. That's all I can really say about this. It's just very cringe. Go ahead.
Them. They also didn't throw any of the Jews within Finland over to Nazi Germany. Eventually, when the threat of Soviet Russia waned, they turned on the Nazis. So, yeah, it's really, really weird. Like, they have a really...
Notice he didn't really say that much about it. They turned on the Nazis. No, they cut a deal with the Soviets. And then, and, you know, in response to that, that statement that they made, they said, yeah, we're going to, you know, kick the Germans out and keep them out. And so they chased them out of Germany and they, you know, caused a few casualties, this and that. And they went back, you know. But yeah, come on, man. He's just being, like I say, this is just to own the tankies. That's all this is. And maybe it is true that if you really hate Marxist-Leninism or something like that, then I guess you become a full-on just, you know, where you're just going to support the Nazis, I guess. It's like, come on, man. Yeah. Wrench hammers are royalty. Oh man. Let me see what we got here. Does someone not have a wrench? Let's go ahead and give the man a wrench. Let me see what we got here. Let me see here. Let me do that right quick. There we go. That way, hopefully we don't get the double audio here. Let me see. Someone doesn't have a wrench. Daggone. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. He does. Okay. Every man a wrench. Okay. I just want to make sure. I was like, I thought everyone had a wrench. Okay. Oh, what's going on, Skeptical Manus? How are you? There you go. Okay. Well, I knew someone didn't have one. All right. Well, there we go. We're watching some cringe by Vosh. So let's go ahead and continue on. Oops.
Anyway, yeah, it's just the Finland especially is a really complicated topic. There were some people in the thing. They were like, Finland worked with the Nazis. They helped the Jew. You know, guys, do you want to know the first country that allied with the Nazis? You want to know what the first one was?
The United States. The United States. I mean, that is the truth, though. There were a lot of American companies that did help the Nazi war effort, such as IBM and everything else. But, it's a whole different issue. But yeah, go ahead.
The very first country that openly militarily allied. Well, it wasn't actually the first, but
militarily. Hold on. Allied militarily with Nazi Germany. That's no. I don't remember Nazi Germany getting BT-7s or something like that, or the Soviets getting, a Mark III or something like that, or even a Mark I tank. No. That just sounds dumb. You're basing this off of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Act. And even then, everybody kind of knew that eventually that was going to break, and then you can get the issues of Richard Sorge and all that business. But come on, man. Are you serious?
The USSR was actually the first one
German
to engage in joint military action with the Nazis. So it's so weird.
All right. So Union Army Ball. Apparently Vosh made a meme, or at least he found a meme from Imgur, which has a picture of the Finns holding a bouncy ball. Apparently they got from the Soviets. And, basically, it's basically just an anti-tanky meme. And it's like, and he's gone down the road of tanky so much that he's going to defend Finland, which I think is just cringe, basically. But yeah. So let's go ahead and continue on. Ribbentrop wanted the USSR as an ally. Nazgul game? Yeah, there you go.
If you would make the argument that Finland is Nazis because they worked with Germany to repel the Soviets, then how could you not argue that the Soviets are Nazis for working with Nazi Germany to repel the Polish? Yeah, they.
Oh my goodness, this is American brain. This is just. I know that, like I say, I know Finnish Bolshevik will probably see this clip and will rip it apart. But yeah, this is no, this is just some serious historical revisionism that, yeah, unbecoming. And then of course you can get into the idea that the Koch brothers' father, Charles Koch, was involved helping to install oil refineries both for Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. And of course, Henry Ford helping to build the city of what became the city of Nizhny Novgorod, but the Gorky Automotive Plant, GAZ, which which Ford Manufacturing helped to make, or at least helped to bring the parts over. But like I say, man, this is just huge historical revisionism here.
Could have carved up Poland with the
yeah.
Also, Finland was part of the Russian Empire not that long before. Well, that's the reason why they invaded.
Does it matter? In the context of the picture, the USSR was on the same side as the Allies. Finland were on the side of the Axis. Yeah, Pericale, exactly. Molotov-Ribbentrop is irrelevant. Fair enough. Yeah, helped to develop tanks the first two. Yeah, exactly. Christie suspension and all that business. But yeah, it's like, bro, man, this is just, it's just so cringe to be like, oh man, I'm going to defend the Finns to own the tankies. It's just like, oh man, go ahead. I can't.
because they felt that land territorially was theirs. In fact, if I remember correctly, Finland was the only country that was bordering the USSR in 1939 that was still independent in 1945. The only country.
Okay. As I said before, they did that because they've made a deal. And who knows about what actually happened and everything else, but it's like the Finns did give up Karelia. So it's something that, even today, that land is is controlled by Russia to this day. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Biggin. When you say, "Oh, it's the only country that was free in 1945," it's like that was bordering the Soviet Union. You also have Mongolia as well, although Mongolia was kind of in between, but they did have kind of a Soviet sort of thing that went on. I don't know. That's like that. Come on, man. Are you serious? Go ahead.
Bordering the USSR that maintained autonomy.
He has a hard
the
case of
entirety
autism, though.
World War
Yeah.
II, which is really interesting. Yeah. Anyway, it's funny stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I think Finn Bowl is okay. I don't completely agree with him. But I think that, it is kind of cringe to see Vosh just saying this type of shit. So I'm like, yeah. Now you have ultra-right Finns who want it back. Exactly. Yep. Who want Karelia back? Yeah.
Finland only got independence from the Russian Empire in 1917. Yeah, no shit. No wonder they wanted to fight off the fucking Russians, dude. Can you imagine getting independence in 1917 and then fucking 1939 rolls around, you get invaded again? Jesus, fuck. Oh, a Hearts of Iron 4 mod. Okay, I was thinking that has to have a real world, that has to mean a real world thing, but I've heard that in the context of a video game, okay? I wasn't joking. I was actually based in Red Build. What's the difference between a tanky and a socialist? A tanky is a derogatory term for an authoritarian socialist who like hardcore defends autocratic countries like the U.S., Stalin's Russia, or North Korea, or whatever. From reasonable tanky, Vosh knows nothing about the USSR, World War II history, Marxism, Leninism,
True.
Stalin, socialism, or anything else.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
right, dude. The only thing I know in deep detail is the fucking internal topography of your mother's womb, okay?
He just thinks that he can continue to just be edgy and just get away with it. It's like, I cannot wait until people see through his lies. I cannot wait. But yeah, go ahead.
Her fucking uterus, her uterus is printed on my mind, okay? And there's no room for anything else. That's the only thing I've got. You like anything about Marxism, Leninism? I don't. Ideologies aren't fucking Pokeballs, okay? I like this or that. Just, we have ideas, okay?
Hold on.
That's the only thing I've got. You like anything about Marxism, Leninism? I don't. Ideologies aren't fucking Pokeballs, okay?
Oh boy, so ideologies aren't Pokeballs. Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
I like this or that. Just, we have ideas, okay? Generally, when I talk with Marxist Leninists, they're fucking idiots, though. So I don't know. It's pretty bad. Yeah, Vosh is Stalinist. True. Tanky is a slur. True. Tanky is actually a racial slur because it exclusively refers to white people. Tanky's seething right now.
Unbelievable.
But Ho Chi Minh and Castro and all the developing world revolutionaries, they were all tankies. Nope, they were Marxist Leninists, motherfucker. They were more effective and more useful than you'll ever be.
What is
You're
he
on
even
Twitter, okay?
What is he even talking about? This just petty, isn't it? It's just petty, yeah. It's not ideology when a lib does it. Exactly. Have you heard of Polkambal? Yeah. Dude swears more than the sailor. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. This is just petty.
Vosh, I'm not a tanky, but you're wrong about a lot of the stuff you said about Finland, their wars with the
Yep.
USSR. Wait, am I? Hold on. Finland, World War II. Yeah, no, I'm pretty... okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
Finnish independence took place in 1917. In the Winter War, on November 26 of 1939, Soviet Russia accused the Finnish army of shelling the village of Mainila. It was subsequently found that the Soviets had in fact shelled their own village as an excuse to withdraw from their non-aggression pact with Finland. On the 30th of November, the Soviet Union attacked Finland. Their attack was denounced by the League of Nations, and as a result, the Soviet Union was expelled from that body on the 14th of December. Holy shit, they didn't just invade, they false flag attacked their own citizens.
Oh, please. So did the Germans. So did the Germans when they invaded Poland. You know, you act like that the Soviet Union was the only one that did that. It's like, yeah, the Germans did that too. They had some people dress up as Polish soldiers and false flag the attack to make it look like they were attacking a German radio station on the border. This is fairly well known, so it's like, I don't really get how this is an own.
They did a fucking war crime to have a pretense to begin an invasion.
I have no idea, Union Army.
But all the tankies only begin in 1941 when Finland started to invade the Soviet Union in retaliation. Remember, tankies are pro-imperialism, okay? The only real anti-imperialists are anarcho-Bidenists, okay? You have all of the anti-imperialist pragmatism of being an anarchist, and you have all the realistic understanding that Trump is not good for American foreign policy of being a Bidenist, okay? It's the only way forward. Stay true. Stay woke, people, okay? But anarcho-Bidenism has an expiration.
This guy, he's losing it. I think he is. I really, people are going to be, are going to find him out eventually. And they're just going to be like, this guy is cringe, I mean, it always happens with the internet. He probably thinks that he's not going to be the one. He's not, he's not going to fall down the trap that people like, Crowton T did, or, JF Gillespie, or any of these other folks, or, the, all the Wignats that used to be on here. He thinks that's not going to happen to him. He thinks somehow that this type of stuff isn't going to occur to him. And it's like, it absolutely will happen to you. It's just the rules of the internet. Better for foreign policy. Raytheon Secretary of State, exactly, yeah. Did you know about Simo Haya? Oh, yeah. Yep, Simo Haya was a great, just absolutely ridiculous.
Date. It's like 4 weeks away, okay, so chill. Don't get too caught up on that. To be honest, the only reason the Soviets signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was because the Western powers refused to save Czechoslovakia, which the Soviets wouldn't do. So, according to the tankies, working with Nazis, no matter what the reason, is completely inexcusable. And the Soviet Russia worked with the Nazis just as much, if not more, than Finland did. And Finland only worked with the Nazis because their homeland was being invaded. Finland only worked with the Nazis because they were literally at threat of oblivion from their neighboring and massively more powerful Soviet Union country.
Bruh, this is... What is this? This is like some neocon talking points. Are you kidding me? Literally neocon talking points here. I mean, they had to defend their homeland. It's just like... Go ahead.
Yeah. It's...
He's like an AI robot that spews random Marxist-sounding things to get views.
But
none of it is coherent. Exactly, yeah. It really is.
None of you give a fuck. None of you give a shit. Wait, hold on. We actually did send 8 Jews to Nazi camps. It's considered a huge embarrassment in our history in Finland. Vosh, please stop defending our government. How am I defending the Finnish government? What the fuck?
Look at this. Look at this. Now he's flipping like... He was saying that, they didn't send Jews, to camps or anything else like that. And now someone is saying, oh, yeah, well, they are. And now he's trying to back down. Now he's trying to, bring it back a little bit. But come on, man.
Why are people so essentialist with how they talk? That's incredible.
Okay. Essentialism doesn't exist. I'm so sick of that word essentialism. I remember that there were a couple of times I've been in some of these chats, and it's like I'll just type something out, and they don't like it. It's like, no, we can't be essentialists. No, I don't like essentialism. Oh, just get fucked. It's the same thing like you know, you know, is that a what if or no true Scotsman? Just dumb bullshit, yeah. I know, but it's too long. Yeah. Pericole, yeah. Finland did not stop being allied with the Nazis throughout the entire war. Very sure the pact lasted long. Yeah. Job of the Vosh. Yeah, exactly. Where's the winter war jokes? Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, it's just Finland. Yeah, he literally did. He literally just looked at the wiki page. Yeah, he literally just looked at the wiki page.
Incredible to me. Did at any point I say that Finland didn't fuck up during the war or didn't do bad shit?
Oh, please. You were practically defending them just earlier. Barely 5 minutes ago. But now you're trying to switch.
Also, you realize that the Soviet Union encroaching from the east in Poland led to hundreds of thousands of Jews dying, right? Like, you realize that there were Jews that were fleeing the Nazi Germany, and they couldn't because of the bulwark of Soviet soldiers moving in from the east. So many of them ended up getting caught by the Nazi soldiers, and they were fucking gassed. By the
What? What? I mean, I don't think that would be true. It's like, I don't think the Red Army soldiers. You talk like the Red Army soldiers weren't going to help or anything else like that. It's like the Red Army was one of the first ones, the first army to liberate Auschwitz. So no, I mean, it's like, bro, what are you even fucking talking about? Are you kidding me?
tens and hundreds of thousands. Like, any argument you can make about Finland, you could also make about the USSR. Yeah. Also, the USSR independently killed a lot of Jewish people too. Yeah, what the fuck? How can anybody say you're a Nazi for saying Finland had bouncy ball? What the fuck? Oh god. Yeah.
This is just drivel. It is. This is drivel, but it's like, this is just so pitiful. He can't even come up with a good argument. It's like, if you don't want this stuff to come up, why even talk about this sort of history? Burgers are retarded. I will say it. Even though I'm an American myself, burgers are retarded. We shouldn't talk about the Second World War at all. If I were president of the world, I would say, American, you can no longer talk about history, especially the Second World War, anything that has to do with Europe. You can never speak about it ever again, and it would be punishable by flogging. I don't know, but it's like, no. You could have just said nothing. You could have just ignored it and not posted that meme, but you decided to make a fool of yourself. That's why, in general, I do want to say this just for myself. I try not to talk about events in the rest of the world because I know that I would sound like an idiot and a jackass. So I try not to do it. But it's like, golly.
Damn, dude, maybe the real Hitler was Stalin all along. He was just playing the puppet strings.
Serbian
the Soviets
Chetniks.
did a lot of fucked up shit because they were fucking Soviets. Okay, they did a lot of fucked up shit. All right. The Soviets allowed the primarily Jewish Warsaw Uprising to fail so the occupation could be easier. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I'm getting worried about Stalin over here. All these tankies, man. When they talk about,
boy, primarily Jewish. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. I mean, once again, I'm not a historian, much as this idiot is not. But it's like there were a fair amount of Catholics involved in the Polish Home Army, or the Underground Army as well. It wasn't just Jews. There were plenty of Catholics as well, if we want to put it there. But I know. Very, very, very cringe.
about how they don't like American aid to Israel. Are they like dog whistling? Oh, shit. Guys, you guys should go on Twitter and you should accuse every tanky you meet, everyone who dislikes me, of being an anti-Semite. I think that'd be really good discourse, I think that would positively contribute to the overall utility of the world. All right? I think it's the only way forward. All right, dipshits. Let's oh, God. A lot of them unironically are they? Yeah, of course. A lot of tankies unironically are just like authoritarian fascists who just happen to adopt the banner of like a different set of states. It's really fucking cringy, See, I've been working on this. This is my thesis, okay? And what some people have an authoritarian skull shape. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. Some people just have this skull shape. And what it invariably leads to is people adopting a very similar set of underlying principles when it comes to like the necessity of governments, and like what you can get away with and what's justifiable. And yeah, really, just it doesn't depend on whether you're right or left. I argue with a lot of lefties who do this, use the same tactics rhetorically as
Once again, I think that Anand Cosmos mentions, but it's the same type of thing with these debate bros. Because you've had a bad experience with people that you've debated, you think that everybody's like that because you're arguing with them. It's like you can't base things just because you were. This is just such an incoherent mess, and it's just burgers taking the L. That's all it is. It's just burgers taking the L. That's all that needs to be said. I can be fairly incoherent sometimes when I talk about stuff too, but it's like it's just embarrassing. That's all I have to say. I can't look at this cringe anymore. Shout out to my man Ole. I'm gonna watch that later. But let's talk about this one next. I mean, it's hilarious. It's just like Saddam WD was well documented. Yeah. It just absolute cringe. I can't bear with it. Yeah. But yeah. Let's go into this one though. This is from that Superpower Broadcasting, this neocon guy who's talking about Turkey. Once again, absolute cringe. I don't know how people like this survive. I really don't.
Hello and welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. I'm Kevin Hasley. Thanks for being here today. I just want to debunk this stupid bunk and junk meme that Turkey under Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the monstrosity, is a strategic ally. They're still useful ally, bro. But they're in NATO, though. You'll often see this meme parroted by the brainlet brigades of Twitter and elsewhere in social media.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back for a minute. There's some bullshit here with this guy. I just wrote burger and Slav speak. Oh, okay. Yeah. America had 2 scares in the new Deal 1 campaign against the Axis.
Hello
and
welcome to Superpower Broadcasting. I'm Kevin Hasley. Thanks for being here today. I just want to debunk this stupid bunk and junk meme that Turkey under Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the monstrosity, is a strategic ally. That they're still useful ally, bro. But they're in NATO, though. You'll often see this meme parroted by the brainlet brigades of Twitter and elsewhere in social media.
Who is defending Turkey? I don't know who this guy is even talking about. Who is defending Turkey out there? It's like most people are against Turkey for what they're doing, for whatever reason. But it's just that, he is trying to take up the mantle of being a defender of Islam, this and that. But it's like, I really don't get, once again, this is just incoherent babble just to own Russia. Once again, this is kind of on the same vein, of, kind of the neocon sort of neo-lib sort of thinking that people have. It's just unbelievable.
And it's really, really embarrassing because
you want to watch the new Imperial Renaissance video? Okay.
Between fascist Russia and liberal America.
Fascist Russia and liberal America. Oh, the two genders, right? Fascist Russia and liberal America. Oh, go ahead.
With NATO on America's side. And Turkey is nominally on our side. Turkey is nominally in NATO. They are officially in NATO. However, the actions and intentions and overall wish of the Erdogan regime since he's consolidated power has been to gravitate towards Moscow and the Kremlin. And
what? In what world do Turkey and Russia completely get along? Apparently, this guy has not seen what is going on in Syria and the fact that Russia is supporting Assad. And of course, I know he hates Assad as well and calls him a gangster and everything else, but it's like they have had meetings. Okay. That doesn't mean that they completely support one another. That's called geopolitics. I mean, holy shit, does this guy really think that somehow there's a Russo-Turkish, alliance forming against, NATO? No. Turkey has its own ideas, or more specifically, Erdogan has his own views on what should be done. In particular, he is trying to get the Islamic world on his side and being a defender of Islam, as I said. Russia, ultimately, is just doing geopolitics in Syria. And of course, like I say, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and other affiliated groups are in Idlib right now, still being, although the Turkish troops have left, as far as I know, from Idlib, they're still giving support, as far as I know. Correct me where I'm wrong. If someone sees this and says, no, that's absolute bullshit, please tell me. But as far as I know, they're still giving support to these various Wahhabist groups in Idlib right now. So I don't, like I say, it's a complicated matter. It's just, I don't get this type of crap yet. Turkey has shot down Russian jets before Lamau. Exactly. Yeah. Erdogan, the opportunistic waterman seller. Yeah, exactly. Real politics is a real hell of a drug. It really is. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just... Yeah, Saudi Arabia good, but Syria bad. He literally does say Saudi Arabia is good, though. And he says that Saudi Arabia is more of an ally than Turkey. He literally does say this, though, at the end. I'm like, what are you even saying?
The thugs in the Kremlin. He purchased Russian anti-air systems, the S-400.
Because the American ones are crap, and because they were trying to pick, and because basically the United States was dragging their feet on getting their rocket systems there. So instead, Erdogan went to Russia. Oh my gosh, he bought S-300 missiles from them, or or S-300 or S-400, whichever. But it's like, bro, that doesn't mean they're buddy-buddy. That's it's simply a transaction. That's all that is. It is a business transaction to give them missiles. That doesn't mean that they're going to buddy up with each other. Are you kidding me? You think the Russians have plenty of problems with Chechnya? And of course, like I say, the situation in Chechnya is stable right now, but still, it's like, are you kidding me?
The state-of-the-art Russian anti-air system. That essentially resulted in him losing access to the F-35s. He can't purchase F-35s now. And
the F-35 is a piece of junk. All right. Anybody with half a brain knows that the F-35 was supposed to be this all-round fighter for the Army, or excuse me, the Air Force and the Navy. And they can't get it working. It is billions of dollars down the toilet. So why would he? I just don't get it. It's like Turkey and Israel still have the F-16, but it's like I don't get this type of crap. I really don't. And it's like you think that Turkey is reliant. It's like Turkey makes their own drones and everything else. So it's like I don't know. It's realpolitik. It's geopolitics, bro. This is not some complicated thing where it's like more fascist Russia and everything else. We need to be, the world's policeman. It's like we don't need to be doing that anymore.
And there have been essentially sanctions as a result of that. And the United States has said, yeah, we're not going to sell you
Who screwed this kid up? I mean, that's all I really have to ask. Who screwed this guy up?
F-35s if you're going to buy Russian anti-air equipment, because obviously then you can just function as a playground for the Russians to do all kinds of sandbox gaming with...
Sandbox? The hell is this, 2003? Who the hell still refers to it as sandbox anymore?
The F-35s and test what works, what doesn't, all that kind of stuff. Why should America help the Russians fine-tune their S-400 system because
What?
a NATO ally.
The S-300 has probably a better record than our Patriot missile system does. So I don't know about fine-tuning at all. The thing is that the S-300, as far as I know, has been fairly well proven to be a lot better. But yeah, okay, buddy.
Wants to allow the Russian system in its territory. Look, ever since Turkey and Russia were in a very heated period of tension back after Turkey shot down a Russian aircraft.
Oh, he does mention
near the border with Syria. Erdogan's moved way in their direction. And
what? Okay. That is a leap of logic that I don't understand. Okay, they shot down a plane, but it's like apparently Erdogan has gone way over there. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's like Erdogan probably has more to do with Israel still than they do Russia. I don't get this type of. Who thinks this way? This is some literal galaxy brain thinking. Go ahead.
You need to understand here that you're either with us or you're against us. And what we essentially have in the case of Turkey is they're with the Russians, but they don't have the courage, they don't have the bravery, they don't have the conviction to outright come out and say, yeah, we're with the Russian axis.
Bravery and conviction to say that we're with the Russians. You're kidding me, right? What are you even saying, bro? I mean, the thing is, once again, it's that, you think of a city like Hatay, which used to be in Syria and is now Turkish. I'm struggling to understand, where is this guy thinking? What is this guy thinking? Oh my gosh, they got S-300 missiles from Russia. That means that they're in Russia's pocket. No, it doesn't. There are, Turkey has assets in, or at least did have assets in Libya, in Syria. They've definitely had elements of their, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and these other folks in Azerbaijan. And it doesn't make any sense. And of course, Russia has been the peacemaker between these things. It doesn't sound like they're on their side at all. I don't really. What? Oh man! Please pray for this child. Please pray for this child. Oh Lord, have mercy.
No, Erdogan still wants to have all the pomp and circumstance and legitimacy and protection of being a NATO member and all the sweet deals that comes with. But culturally, he's with the Russians.
Culturally? The hell does that mean, culturally? The thing is that what is he even talking about culturally? Russia is still an Orthodox Christian nation, and Turkey is at least, as Erdogan would like to do, at least try to give lip service to Islam. More specifically, I want to say Sunni Islam. Turkey has really been talking about the Uyghurs and all this business, and trying to give, was talking a lot of shit about the fact that the French police killed that Muslim guy who decapitated that teacher, and made a real big thing about it. And it's like, I know that mainstream media talks about that as well, but it's like, it's too obvious to see that he's just trying to make himself relevant and trying to make Turkey relevant. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just retarded, but it's like, holy shit, man. Are you kidding me?
Militarily, he's basically going to be with the Russians now. Economically, he's moving towards the Russians. It's the sort of situation that Turkey is a despotic system, and the only way that their continuation in NATO can be legitimately guaranteed is the neutralization of the Erdogan regime. So,
oh boy, this guy's talking about intervention. Look at this guy.
If the CIA were actually as effective as its haters made it out to be, I would hope that the CIA would assassinate Erdogan, or at least
This guy's going to Fed post. This guy's just going to come out and Fed post. Do you hear this guy? Hold on. I want to make sure y'all hear this. Holy crap.
Legitimately guaranteed is the neutralization of the Erdogan regime. So if the CIA were actually as effective as its haters made it out,
if this guy was awake now, he would have everything. He would be doxxed. This guy would be. This is unbelievable. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit shocked to a point, but it's like this is unbelievable what this guy's saying. Absolute Fed posting. I've never heard this much. Okay, yeah. So why doesn't food collectivization work? Actually, I have no idea. Go ahead.
to be. I would hope that the CIA would assassinate Erdogan, or at least in some way remove him from power.
I would hope to see it. Wow. Unbelievable.
But that's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to be looking at Erdogan staying on at the head of the leadership in Turkey, and Turkey's going to move closer and closer to this Eurasianist axis.
Eurasian, oh my goodness. Eurasianist. I'm surprised he didn't say Mud-Dugan with this whole Eurasian thing. Are you kidding me? Oh.
And they're going to play the West for what it's worth. And we're still going to have brainlets in our territory, such as Ian Stevens. We've been talking about him recently because
I don't give a shit who this is. I have no concern.
He's still dodging the debate that we agreed to over the summer. And he's been a defendant.
I would love to debate this guy. I would absolutely love it. I would be spurgy as hell, but I would just ask him some basic questions and just I would love to debate this guy, but I just go ahead.
A defender, rather, of Turkey. And he said, they're a strategic ally, and that it's a realist thing to do to work with Turkey, which is really dumb because I'm not somebody who's going to come out here and say, oh, you can only work with the most liberal democracies.
Now this guy, now he's showing his hand when he says this. This is let's
really dumb because I'm not somebody who's going to come out here and say, oh, you can only work with the most liberal democracies or whatever. I support working with Saudi Arabia. The difference between
so he admits, so Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen and using American, South African, Israeli weapons is perfectly okay. But Turkey, because they got missiles from Russia, are bad. What sort of game is this? I'm serious. I think this guy is a Canuck as well. This guy is a Canadian. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Saudi Arabia and Turkey is that Saudi Arabia is an actual strategic ally. They actually help on.
Saudi Arabia is an actual strategic. How are they a strategic ally? Their country, and if I'm thinking right, with Saudi Arabia, most of their people live on welfare. Oh no, well, I think I'm getting that mixed up. Excuse me, no. I'm thinking of a different country. I'm sorry. Well, maybe let me make sure. Let me make sure I'm thinking right. I'm thinking right. Growing problem of poverty. Yeah, okay, I am thinking right. Yeah, a lot of folks in Saudi Arabia, they live on welfare. It's like, I mean, I'm just saying it as an off topic, but it's like, how are they an ally? Because they have oil?
They actually help undermine the Russians. And Turkey is that Saudi Arabia is an actual strategic ally. They actually help on oil. They actually help undermine the Russians. They
help on oil. They undermine the Russians. How is Saudi Arabia undermining the Russians? Can somebody please tell me that? How are they undermining the Russians? Yeah, solidarity with the Houthis, definitely. At this point, yeah. UAE as well. Yeah, UAE, of course, made their deal with Israel earlier this year. I mean, this is just Canadians always follow the wars Americans and British make because they get out scot-free. Yeah. What is this? Who the hell thinks this type of stuff? I mean, I'm really just at a loss. It's like it's one thing to be like a neocon, but holy shit.
Actually help against Iran. Turkey, on the other hand, Turkey flirts with Putin. So
that's a straw man. So he says that Saudi Arabia is helping against Putin. Apparently by how? How are they doing that? Because it's a Sunni Shia war? The split? I don't get that. But it's like, but Turkey is getting help from Putin. What? Because he got missiles from Russia. Because he got I think it's the S-400, I think, to be fair, but because he got some missiles from Russia, that means they're in some sort of alliance. Because apparently, Putin fascist, apparently. Oh, this is the most flimsy sort of defense. I can't. Go ahead.
why? Why? How are they some strategic ally that needs to be protected and everything? No, the Erdogan regime needs to be removed from power.
Oh, I
or
see. Okay.
we
yeah, that makes
say,
sense.
look, if you're going to keep Erdogan there and we're not going to do anything about it, you guys have chosen a path for yourselves. Then you guys can go and descend down into the hole of darkness. You will be cast out
into the hole of darkness. Wow.
And NATO will continue its operations without you.
NATO will continue its operations without you. Oh boy, yeah. NATO will continue to rape women and not be prosecuted at all. Yeah, okay, bro.
You will be targeted just as the Russians would be targeted.
See, this, you know, some of this comes from the whole irony bro sort of. I just want to hate the other side so much that I end up joining people that I don't agree with. It's the same. It's just like with Vosh did, where it's like, you know, I so hate the tankies because I've argued with so many of them that I'm going to join and say that, you know, Finland was actually good and that Finland, you know, deserved to defend their country. It's like, this is the ultimate idea of contrarianism, isn't it? This is the ultimate contrarian pill. Holy crap.
I mean, that makes sense. They're obviously on the Russian side. Now you can say, oh, but there are nuances. They don't see eye to eye with Putin on everything. Yeah, so what? That's the same case with Belarus and Lukashenko. He and Putin never really got along perfectly.
I don't even understand
its operations without you. And you will be targeted just as the Russians would be targeted.
Wow. So this guy openly admits that we should target Russia. You know, how many times does it take for people? It's like, how many times do you have to learn this lesson, old man? Where it's like, how many times do we have to figure out before it's like, just leave Russia alone? You know, how many times? You know, Napoleon, you know, Hitler, you know, the Chechens. I mean, how many times? And of course, like I say, I mean, ultimately that's a whole different issue. But it's like, how many times? How did they do in the Crimean Wars? I can't think of the Crimean Wars offhand, but it's like, how many times do people have to realize, like, no, just leave Russia alone. Leave them alone. And ultimately, I know what he's talking about, is that basically he just wants to get rid of Putin and put in a shit lib. He wants it to go back to the early 1990s. That's what he wants. He wants it to go back to neoliberal sort of capitalism where it just ruined the Soviet Union, where, you know, ultimately the mob ruled parts of you know, Russia and everything else. Are you kidding me? Russians lost the Crimean War. Okay, I thought so. That's why I had to be careful. Yeah, Genghis Khan, though. Yeah, true. Russia to the rest of the world. How many times do we have to react to? Yeah, teach you this lesson, oh, man. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. They're obviously on the Russian side. Now you can say, oh, but there are nuances. They don't see eye to eye with Putin on everything. Yeah, so what? That's the same case with Belarus and Lukashenko. He and Putin never really got along perfectly. Doesn't matter. They're not with the liberal order. They're not with NATO.
Oh my gosh. This guy goes straight George Bush. Here we go. Hold on.
They're not with America. They're not with Western democracies. And if you're going to be a dictatorship that the West will basically work with, you at least have to be useful. Turkey's not useful. They're just playing the West for what it's worth. And
So hold on. So this guy contradicts himself where he's just like, well, Russia doesn't completely get along with this, but they're just taking the West for a ride. This guy's talking about countries like they're just skating by, like they're high school kids or something like that. What is he even talking about?
And it's time for us to snap out of it, realize that we're getting played, and say, oh, yeah, it sucks because, yeah, they have the second biggest army in NATO, but they're not really a NATO country in spirit. And
in spirit. Holy crap.
And Saudi Arabia, it would be a far better candidate for NATO in that sense than Turkey would, because they're both dictatorships. The difference is Saudi Arabia helps the West, Turkey hurts.
Wow. So this guy openly admits that ultimately the House of Saud is a dictatorship. But since they work with the West and they give lip service to them, that's better than Turkey. Holy shit.
Hurts Western interests. So I hope that you found this video interesting. And
this guy is a nutcase. What's going on, Guardsman Gaming? How are you? Yeah. Full mask off. Exactly. This is just, yeah, it's about real politics. It really is. Yeah. This guy is nuts. This guy is nuts. Yeah. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to go ahead and put this. Why not? I'm just going to go ahead and put that down there. We'll just see. We'll see where that goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, whatever. This guy can be like, all right, but oh my goodness, are you kidding me, bro? New friends are scary. Yeah, exactly. Old friends are good even. Yeah. Unbelievable though, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the Imperial Renaissance's new video. Let's take a look at his new video. Let's see what we got here. I'm thinking right. Holy crap. Oh, sorry. This is the new one. Yeah. Stand there like a Stonewall. No, I'm not going to watch the Stonewall Jackson video. No. But we will watch this because I have a feeling this is going to be cringe. The Inquisitor. And I've seen that he's got another one where he's holding an MP40. He's doing like the G.I. Joe thing where he's dressing like the Cobra Commander. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But yeah, here we go. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for it? Y'all ready for the Imperial Renaissance, the Inquisitor? I haven't watched it. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, me neither. But holy crap, we're all going in this blind. So here we go. We're just gonna jump in and just take the Nestea plunge. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so he's dressed like Darkman, or who? I guess it's like nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I mean, okay, go ahead, Megan. I do like the snow though. It's a very nice scene. Other than that, this is kind of like I can imagine myself. This looks like an area that I've driven down, and it kind of looks like this in a certain way. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does look like a lot like an area that I've been through before. But yeah, anyway, look at this LARP. He's got oh my goodness. I mean, okay, go ahead. Trenchcoat gang. Yeah, exactly. Trenchcoat mafia. Yeah. This guy is superpower broadcasting. Yeah. Okay. Man, you're gonna have to knock louder. I wouldn't be able to hear that. Uh-oh. We've got a girl? We've got a girl in one of these things? Holy crap. Go ahead. Don't tell me that's his mom.
Can I help you?
What? The original man, black man, cannot survive the snow. Yeah. Snow is Jakub's curse. Yeah. His shots are so long. Yeah, they really are. It's like this guy needs to learn how to edit better. Holy shit. Yeah. This is just, oh my goodness.
I'm with the Inquisition, and I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Hey, stop looking at the camera. Stop looking at the camera. Oh my goodness, yeah. Has to be a femoid family member. Exactly. Yeah. Here's a clip from the Spanish movie Captain. Yeah, Captain. Oh, okay.
May I,
Get a glass of water.
Oof. Okay, we're purposely wasting time.
Are you enrolled in the church?
yes, sir. St. Augustine's 2nd Woodridge Road.
And that's where you're registered?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been going there your whole life?
For the most part, when I have the time.
So you don't go every weekend?
No.
And why is that?
I can't hear a damn thing.
I have things to do.
Where do you work?
Holy crap. Get some ADR in here. Get some additional dialogue recorded. Holy shit. Can America become socialist in the future? Maybe. I don't know. And please don't tell me he was rejected from art school. Yeah, I don't know. No more neoliberal coronavirus nonsense. Yeah, it'd be nice. Hello, 99, but a little too early. Yeah, I think he uses one camera and a tripod.
The steel in the factory, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do at the steel factory?
I make sure things get sent through properly. That
You make weapons, bullets. That's what your factory makes.
Holy crap. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead here because this is too quiet. She speaks. I can't hear a damn thing. Okay.
To us inquisitors, upon our graduation, each of us carries a different card, a calling card, if you will. Every time we complete a case, every time we bring justice to somebody, you'll always find this card there. This card symbolizes our movements and our justice, which is dispensed upon the heretics. This card should concern you, because I have information that I think you would find most interesting. Now, if you cooperate, there could be benefits. If you fail to cooperate, well, we'll come to that. Because of course you're going to cooperate.
What the fuck is this guy? I know a kid who would drop joke retards around school because that Batman movie brainwashed him. Oh, man. That's sad with the Joker thing, man. That's just sad.
Right.
Yes, sir.
What the hell is this? Oof. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, that definitely looks like its sister or something.
Have you seen anything suspicious in your neighborhood of late?
No.
Any suspicious people?
No.
Has anyone in the neighborhood been holding meetings in their home of over 5 people?
No. Not.
You seem a little nervous.
Are they trying to make fun of the coronavirus thing, where it's like you're not supposed to have more than 5 people in a gathering or something? Is that what he's trying to do? Is he trying to? Okay, go ahead.
Why don't you take a drink?
Oh, this is creepy. Okay. Oh my goodness, bruh.
Now, meetings of over 5 people.
Not to my knowledge.
Interesting.
What the? And he has to show. Oh man, look at that. He must have. I think this guy sees my video. I swear, he must see my streams because he knows that I talk about it. And now he has to show that it's actually an Imperial German Iron Cross second class. He does, you can see the crown right there and all that. So he's, 1813. I'm not sure, but anyway, he's trying to show that, oh, I'm not a Nazi. I'm, this is just a Second World War Iron Cross second class. Yeah. Could we nationalize the healthcare industry today, or would they just try to run off somehow after? They probably would run off afterwards. Hello, 99. Yeah, it'd be nice, but you know, but yeah, that's probably what would happen, unfortunately.
So you're a veteran?
Yes, I am a veteran.
Just because you have an Iron Cross second class. Oh my goodness.
Your husband was a veteran, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
What happened to him? Why is he not here today?
He's out running errands.
That's an interesting way to put it. He's dead. He's buried in the Julius Caesar Cemetery.
Julius Caesar Cemetery. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Veteran failing no fap wars, yeah. Could we nationalize the leftover infrastructure somehow? I think it's possible, but I think it's just not going to happen right now. Hello, 99. It'd be nice, but yeah.
Is he not?
Sometimes I just kind of forget.
Do you think he died a hero? I've read his report. He was trying to defuse a bomb that had been placed in his truck by a civilian. Unfortunately, he crossed the wrong wires.
Really?
We got to bring back the Reganis thing, though. We need to bring back the Reganis. Ronaldus Reganis. That's what.
Honestly, I think it was an idiot way to die. I mean, you can't cross the wires wrong.
Do you resent the Empire for your husband's death?
The Empire. Oh my goodness. Make nukes for everyone. Exactly, yeah. I'm gonna make some clinics and I will protect them with my private big police force after the cops get defunded. Yeah.
Oh, of course not.
Why? It was we that sent him out there, wasn't it?
It was that civilian that placed the bomb in his car.
Your husband was granted the Silver Cross medal, was he not?
Yes.
Do you have it on display?
No, honestly, it reminds me of him, and I'd rather not think about that.
Understandable.
So this is supposed to be tense, right? It's supposed to be like a tense interview or like a tense, you know, interrogation. I guess is that the whole idea? It's like it just comes off as boring and awkward.
Who is this?
Our Lord and Emperor, Jesus Christ.
Your husband died in service to him, correct?
Oh my goodness. I'll see you later, Papi Chulo. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He died an honorable death trying to save his fellow legionnaires. I'm sure you're
The Legionnaires. Oh my goodness. I swear, like I said, I was trying to be nice to this guy because I did see him on stream and he seemed halfway reasonable, but it's like, bro, you realize that the Roman Empire, for the most part, was pagan, and only at the very end was it Christian. It's like the the Byzantine Empire was far more Christian. It's like, why don't you LARP for them? Why don't you LARP for the Byzantine Empire and all the stuff that they did? Why stand the Romans? It's like for the most part they were pagans. I don't know. Go ahead.
filled with pride.
Yes, sir.
Why do we make our economy so privately owned anyways? How does it benefit the elite to put healthcare into private ownership? Because it's about making more money. It's also about write-offs. Yeah, I understand. Like the banks, why is everything private? It's easier to make money. I mean, that's all that. I mean, that's my simplified answer. I mean, I can't really give. I understand why you're upset, Hello 99, but it's like there's not much we can do right now. You know, it's like there are plenty of people. If I'm thinking right, you're the guy that's in Oklahoma, right? I mean, it's like I get that, but it's like Megan, you know, it's going to take a lot to get mobilized and everything else. I mean, that's all I can really say. So I'm trying to answer you, good faith, but yeah. Anyways,
You must understand, it grieves me that people here in the Empire, sometimes when they lose the person they love, they take it out on the state. They think that the state betrayed them. They fail to understand that joining the Legion is a choice. No one is forced. When they choose that life, they choose the risks that come with it. I can't tell you how many times I've arrested people, men and women, who have lost somebody or something to the state, and in a fit of idiotic stupidity, they think that by helping the communist disease, they can get revenge on the empire.
I don't know what you're saying, sir, or what you're assuming, but I can assure you, I have no part.
Video surveillance has seen 4 men, registered communists, coming to this house between the hours of 1 in the morning and 3.
oh boy, the
And at
gummies.
that door,
The gummies are coming. The gummies. The gummies. Oh no.
and they don't come back out. That's happened twice. You're sheltering enemies of the state, aren't you?
No. No.
Those kulaks, EDC. Yeah. So long as it doesn't get out of control,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, I don't know. I don't shelter communists.
One more time. Where are they?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I don't know where they are.
Where are they?
It was your empire that took my husband away from me. You wretched, wretched being.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead. For press F. Press F for his sister there. Press F. You could just wait and observe, or you could try to hold her hostage and put a wire on her, or do something else instead of shooting her, because then that will just alert them. But okay, I mean it doesn't make much sense to me. It's like it's like if you were an inquisitor, it's like, or if you're trying to be some police or something like that, it's like there are other options than just to kill people, bro. Yeah, if sister died from incel brother. Yeah, exactly. This is so many other options. I mean, is that really the Christian way to just, up and just shoot people? Just, it's like, that doesn't. What is this guy doing? Oh, he re-uploaded those. Oh, okay. Huh. What the fuck was that? What in the world was that? Wow, well, there you go. The Francoist Christian way. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, F for the anti-imperialist character, not the actress, obviously. Yeah. I thought the state was communist. Yeah. Possibly the worst video of 2020. Well, there's some bad ones. There are some bad ones, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Ma'am, your husband volunteered, so too bad. Get down. Exactly. Oh my goodness. What in the world was that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the reading. So I'm going to do a quick intro and then we'll go ahead and do the reading. So let's go ahead and do that right quick.
My little man go to bed, so get up, get up, his nose running, his nose bloody. Sister laughing, he like, what's so funny, so funny. Touch the sound of the pain to the tummy, in the freezer, in the fridge, feel the ounces for the kids, little man, let it live, crack the kid's face, in his face, man, anyway, scared the face, should be him soon, see his face, no fiends, take the place of God, pouring out the holes in their face and all. Little man in the face of harm if you don't eat. You need energy, so when you can't compete up. All we got is bodegas for hay. Got enough for a quarter and an hour later. Anyway, grandma say Jesus say any day. Good, cause with nothing to eat, it's getting hard to pray. Pray. Need to give, feed the kids, eat to live, to receive, Lord to proceed. So you need to give, gotta feed the kids, gotta eat to learn. Lord to proceed. So you need to give, gotta feed the kids, gotta eat to learn. Listen.
All right, sorry about that. Demanded intro redo. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we'll do another one at the end. How about that? Okay. So let's continue on here. Let's go ahead. We're going to take this off the... Okay, there we go. So now we'll go back to the regular screen here. And let's go ahead and do... let's go ahead and talk about this. A list of foods we must not eat. So we're switching modes here into posting cringe and, covering the cringe. Now we're going to go and, we're going to read more of this book here of How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, a list of foods we must not eat. Do not eat the swine flesh. It is forbidden by the divine law of Allah. Do not eat field peas, black-eyed peas, speckled peas, red peas, or brown peas. Do not eat lima beans or baby limas. Do not eat any bean but the small navy bean, the little brown pink ones, and the little white ones. Do not eat cornbread because it is very hard in the stomach and not easily digested. Eat whole wheat bread, but not the whole grain. The whole grain is too hard to digest. Never eat freshly cooked bread. It rises and buckles in the stomach. Eating freshly cooked bread will shorten your life. Do not eat the rich soybean flour. Neither the flour nor the oil from the soybean is good for our stomachs. Do not eat the vegetable kale, nor sweet potatoes and white Irish potatoes, which are staple food for people who live in frigid zones or people who cannot afford other vegetables. The main thing you must do, I will repeat, is eat one meal a day or once every 24 hours. And never eat or even touch the swine flesh. Yeah, do not commit haram. Yeah, haram. Yeah. When you begin eating once a day, certainly you will begin to lose weight until you are used to eating once a day. Then you will start gaining weight again. But fat is not wanted for health. It is an enemy to health. You don't need numerous diets, just eat once daily. In the Christian world, you have innumerable food diets and numerous ways to prepare them, and these numbers are ever increasing. We must remember that the Christian world commercializes on everything, even the gospel of Jesus Christ, spiritual food. God is visiting us to teach us, the Lord, the lost and found, members of God's family, to prolong our lives, give us more life and abundancy of life, as it is written. By no means can we get this life from any other source. We must follow the guidance of Almighty God, and not the ways of the people whose diets have sent us calling to the doctor and be hurried off to the hospital and from the hospital to our graves. The white people called the Christian race, after they were driven out of the Holy Land and roamed the caves and hillsides of Europe, lived there for 2,000 years eating raw food. They did not know how to cook anything, or to use fire until Moses taught them. Can we accept them and their ways of life instead of Allah's? No. We will take Allah's will and eat and His guidance. It goes something like this. Eat one meal a day. If this does not make you well, eat one meal every other day. Nothing between meals. Eat only the right foods. He said milk, bread, and navy beans would lengthen our lives to 140 years. He will not give us a long list of different food diets and foods to confuse us on what to eat. Cook your foods well done, especially animal meat. Boiling your food until it is well done is better on your digestive system than baking and frying meats. Baking and frying, it makes it about as hard on your digestive system as eating it raw. Never try to put baked crust on any of your food except bread. Drink plenty of wholesome milk. Eat butter, bread, and fresh foods. If you eat fowl, lamb, squab, and fish, cook it well done. Keep your food under steam. Pressure cook it with the lid on. Do not look up a variety of things to eat. Most vegetables are good to eat, except those which have been forbidden to eat, such as collard greens, black-eyed peas, and a lot of green cabbage sprouts. Eat the white part of the cabbage and cauliflower. Stay off those peanuts, coconuts, and nuts, period. The Christian world eats according to taste. It eats not for life, but for taste. Cook well done whatever you eat. Cook bread thoroughly. If you have a refrigerator, put your leftover bread in it, or place it where it will keep moist and won't dry out. If that doesn't taste good, cook it over again. There is no such thing as stale bread. Let no bakery or anyone fool you. It is for health. If you do not have the knowledge of how to prepare your bread, seek a Muslim who knows how to prepare it. Some Muslim sister will teach you. Can't eat enough food in one sitting to last long enough? Yeah. Yeah. Give the cornbread back to the horses and the mules. That is their food. Do not eat grits or coarsely chopped corn. The corn is fit for you only in its milk stage. Okay. Because I did get a response. I know Lives Know 1975 asked about corn. So there you go. Only in its milk form, or only in its milk stage, is corn good, I guess, according to this. Eat to live and not to die. Food. God said to me, keeps us here and takes us away. 3 meals a day are needed by a savage beast, but not by a human being. No human being should eat more than once a day. Eat when you are hungry, if it is not until 6 or 7 days. Let no one fool you about the above instructions. They will keep the doctor away from your bedroom and will prolong your life. Eat when you are hungry, if it is not, repeat myself. Keep from eating those sweets that are prepared to hurry you off to your grave. And you diabetics, eat only 1 meal a day. Stay away from that starchy food and sugar if you're a diabetic. And you won't have to get a doctor to pour insulin and other medicines into you to balance your life. All that I've said in this book, I have experienced myself. Mothers should feed their babies from their breast milk if they possibly can, as this is the best. This is feeding babies now, sorry. When you are able to start feeding them on solid food, give them weak bean soup, not the highly seasoned strong soup that you eat. You can start them out with orange juice and mashed apples. Ooh. This is done whenever you think the baby is able. After he is about 3 months old, this depends on the health of the baby and its age. Plenty of good milk and good, thoroughly cooked bread are good for you and the baby. We must not get the idea that we can nurse the baby with everything we eat. This is what will start sickness and disease in the family. Some mothers are very careless. The baby can act as if he wants what the mother is eating, and even if it is a beef steak, she will cut him in piece. We create sickness right in our homes, from the cradle to the grave. A Muslim, according to the Holy Quran, should not fear to eat food that redacted eat. And the redacted do not fear eating a Muslim's food because they both eat the same types of foods. Orthodox Muslims are very careful of what they eat. The only food we shun that they love are nuts. The Muslims are warned against eating nuts of any kind, and they are warned against drinking the blood of the animals and fowls, because the blood is the fluid of life. Therefore, no human being should eat or drink blood of anything. The redacted were warned against this by the teachings of Moses, the servant of Allah. I want to see an Albanian Bektashi talk with an NOI member. Oh, really? Meat. Okay. It is useless to keep repeating the same truth day and night, month after month, and year after year, when you have it written in your book, the Bible. The main meat that our people like to eat is what they have been taught not to eat, the cheap and filthily raised hog. Okay. Leviticus. Okay, we're going to skip through some of this here. Okay, so basically just goes on just saying that, the hog is a grafted animal, says Allah to me, grafted with rat, cat, and dog. Do not question me. This is what Allah has said. Believe it or not, let it alone. Okay. White Christians represent pork as being good for you to eat. This is enough to teach you that they never wanted to obey the divine law, nor do they want black people to do so. It is one of the most commercialized meats in America, and wherever they can sell it. So there you go. Yeah, I figured it was going to talk about pork more, but yeah, we're going to continue on. Know about the swine? Oh man, they're really hitting you over the head with the meat. I mean, with the pork business. Yeah, they use this hog in much of their medical preparation, even in the German 606 poisonous germs. Oh boy, they're really hitting you over the head about yeah. Okay. Live 1,000 years. Here we go. In the past, our appetite was our god. We ate as many times a day as we could find an appetite to. We worshipped our appetite as though it was our god. This shortens our lives. Some of us have never gone a day without eating unless we were sick and the doctor stopped us until his drugs could aid in killing the germ that eating 3 or 4 meals a day had caused. We think we cannot miss a meal unless we are unable to buy the next meal. So we wear out our stomachs that could possibly live 1,000 years if cared for and protected from the enemies that will shorten and destroy our lives. 1,000 years. Yeah, this is okay. Oh boy, okay. We can get accustomed to eating once a day and nothing between meals. After getting used to eating 1 meal a day, we can get used to eating once every 2 days. Our stomachs will not ask us for food except at the time that we make a habit of putting food in them. Surely 1 meal a day and eating the right kind of food at that meal will do away with much sickness and add many years to our lives. Try it for yourself. Do not eat anything you see the Christians eat. That is why they have so many hospitals and must produce so many doctors every year. Eat to live and not to die, because how you eat does both. It keeps you here, and it takes you away. Do not fill up your stomach with sweets. Keep away from greasy foods. Allah, God, has brought us this knowledge in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Believe in him, obey and follow his teachings, and you will always be happy. Train yourself to eat as Allah has advised. To keep healthy and strong and live a long time on this old earth, Allah said to me in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, eat 1 meal a day every 2 or 3 days. Okay, here we go. We're just repeating ourselves again. Okay, we're going to skip down to the end here. I did not try to pour all the cream and sugar out of the cream and sugar gowls into the coffee. I sweetened and creamed it as I had done when I was eating 3 meals a day, because we can live on cream and sugar for a long time. But it is not good that we do this to our coffee, for our health's sake. I felt better eating 1 meal a day, every 2 days or 48 hours, with nothing in between. I also tried eating 1 meal every 72 hours, as he had told me that if I ate 1 meal every 3 days, I would never be sick, and thought I would try it before teaching it. So I did a few months, and I felt better, and because I felt when I was eating 1 meal every 48 hours, and I can bear witness that I did not have the symptoms and illness at any time. My whole body felt light, and my head was clear. I could almost hear insects crawling. Smile. I love this. There are so many times where in parentheses they have smile, just like, when you're talking to the doctor and you tell him that he's full of crap, smile. Oh my goodness. Okay. It is not so much what you eat. When you begin eating 1 meal every day or every 2 or 3 days, it is just that you do not eat foods that are against your health. I have described in this book time and again that which he pointed out to me, but most poor people like us eat the inexpensive food because we do not have the money to buy expensive foods that rich millionaires eat. So he prescribed for us dry navy beans, bread, and milk. There are some people asking about eating sardines. They are not for us to eat, only if we are traveling and cannot get other foods. But please do not buy them, unless they are fresh when you can clean them, and not those that are packed already. There are some packed that are clean, but they are a little expensive. They are called Portuguese sardines. Apparently the based Portuguese, I guess. Okay. There are other herbs that we can eat that are not mentioned here in this book, but please, whenever you decide on eating something that is not mentioned in this book, write me, because there are some on the market that are not good for you and me. The death way. Under the system of this world, the baby is born, wrestling with life and death wins this struggle and throws the majority of us into our eternal graves before we reach the age of 50, and the remainder before we reach the short age of 100 years, when we should live to 500 to 1,000 years, and the weakest one should live to at least 100 years. Why is our span of life so short? Because we try to follow and practice the way of the wicked, whose span of life was limited in the beginning of their time to 6,000 years. And due to their lack of essence, of righteousness, and of eternal life, they care not for a long span of life. They desire to shorten their span of life for the aboriginal people who have no beginning or ending, and have done just that, because we have not lived the way of their life. What we were and what we are given to eat and drink has shortened our life. The way we live, that short term of life from 12 to 30 years, is but a fleeting moment of the time we should live. The earth is an old, old earth, and the life that it is in, our life, also. It produces us and takes us back as dead material to fertilize the life germ that is yet to be made into man. We should live far longer than we have, as long as we see where we came from, and that the material that made up our bodies is still alive. But what has happened to us? We were fed with death at the very beginning. The wrong food and drink, given to us when we were babies by our wicked enemies until today, we think that it is a mistake to contemplate living 100 more years, not to think of 1,000 years. We think that it is impossible. I just want to briefly talk about this. The leader of the Shaw brothers, this guy Run Shaw, lived to about, I think, 104, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it's Run Shaw. Let me see. How long did Run Shaw live? I think that he lived to the age of, in 1907, 107. Okay, so he was 107 when he died, 1907 to 2014. And the thing is that he practiced Tai Chi. He was obviously rich, and he ate a lot of ginger. That was one of his big things. He was big on ginger. That was one of the things about Run Shaw. But I'm like, okay, this guy lived to 107, and everyone else, luckily, you're looking at maybe in the 80s or maybe maybe in your 70s. But it's like, there's a lot of, it just, how many people would actually make it there? And, it's like, we're carbon-based life forms. How would we last 1,000 years? I mean, it's like, you're talking like we're freaking, I don't know, just immortal or something like that. It's just kind of crazy to think about, but yeah. But it is no more impossible for us today to live 800 or 900 years than it was for Methuselah, who lived 969 years, each year carrying 12 months like the ones we have today. The Holy Quran teaches us that a year with Allah has always been 12 months, and the civilizations of Earth must count their years according to the time it takes the Earth to rotate around the sun and get itself into position. That, the astronomers teach us, will give us a more correct way of counting the time. We and our sons and daughters are fed on poisonous foods, milk and water, from the start of life. This way of eating, like the beasts, soon robs us of life, and we go away within a few years. The baby eats poisonous animals, fowls, and vegetables, and drinks milk that is not his milk. It belongs to the cow's baby, goat's baby, and horse's baby. Here the child is reared on animals and cattle's food. Okay, so here we go. This is kind of what I was talking about with, Junger lived to be 103 or something. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's like, and of course, and he, did LSD and everything else too. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. This is why we have a great percentage of delinquency among minors. The child is not fed from the mother's breast. She is too proud of her form. Therefore, she lets the cow and other animals nurse her newborn baby. And the baby cannot have too much love for its mother. It loves the bottle that its food is in, food that his mother robbed from the cow's baby to feed her own baby. I thought they were going to bring this up eventually, but yeah. When the baby reaches the age of 10, and if it is a male, most of them begin to indulge in drinking alcoholic beverage and use tobacco in one form or another. Alcohol and tobacco, with their poisonous effect upon the male, cut his life down. As far as his reproductive organs are concerned, he is unable to produce his own kind. And anyways, with dope added to all the above-mentioned poisonous food and drinks, we can easily say with truth that the people are committing suicide. In a few days, years, they lose sexual desires. Tobacco and whiskey will most certainly destroy it. The flesh of swine and alcoholic drinks will give you a false impression of feeling to the victim, that you are strong and able to finish the course, but you cannot depend on it. Soon one finds himself needing strength again and again. Not to think of how venereal diseases destroy those who indulge in the extremes of life. Let us eat to live, as Allah, God, has taught me. It is Allah's, God's love. And this is, okay, so now this is do not take birth control pills. As his messenger to teach you and keep you aware of the tricks the devil devises to trap you into accepting death and not life. As it is written, Allah. Oh man, this is, man, it just starts to repeat itself. Oh man, okay. I'm kind of getting a little bit dizzy. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and skip to the end on this. But yeah, basically, don't take birth control. Yeah, this is, okay, they're talking about the Pharaoh because of the advice of those. Okay, Jehovah thwarted Pharaoh's wicked plan to prosper through destroying the future of Israel. Pharaoh was afraid of Israel's population, who was populating Egypt faster than the Egyptians. However, he did not want the Israelites to leave Israel. He decided to kill off the male children, which would have stopped Israel from increasing her nation. The birth control laws employed by the white race were used by his father, Yaqub. It is no new thing today. He does not teach you this, nor does he teach you the sciences of modern warfare chemistry. Of course, we do not care to learn any more about warfare, for it is the purpose of God to erase war from the human family. He now plans to destroy those who delight in making war against humanity. Yep. Maybe the book is repetitive and stresses this because it's meant to be read aloud like a sermon. Yeah, maybe so. Who said the white man had to carry us forever? Who gave him the right to cut our birth rate so that he could take care of a small number of us? Who is willing to swallow the pill? The 22 million or so-called Negroes can be placed in Africa or Asia. The country is so large that they could not know they were there. Or they could be put on an island in the Pacific. But he wants to exterminate all of them with the pills so that he and his people can be free. Yeah, this is one of the big things that people, when black folks talk about abortion as well. I mean, yeah, talking about abortion as well as the pill. You know, this is a big thing, you know, that a lot of folks don't talk about. But yeah. But they want to exterminate all of them with the pills so that he and his people can have free reign of the earth. But he should have reckoned with Allah, who has come for the purpose of saving the poor black man from their wicked plans. The Negro has been a group of people held in the hands of the white man for 400 years, and yet today he is like a lazy horse or dog who does not want to leave his master because of fear. He has taken all kinds of abuse in order to get a little food or whatever the master has to give. It is a shame. It is not because of lack of education, but because he holds the offer of Allah in mockery. But this pill is a bold offer of death, openly made inviting to the Indians and so-called Negroes to accept death, and also the people that they have under their power in the Pacific Islands. It is accepting extermination through a harmless-looking pill designed to take away the future birth of our nation. Think well, you white Christian lovers, you sign up to be swallowed up. Israel was taken into a country where she could do all the populating she wanted to without the interference of Pharaoh. Allah had Pharaoh drowned in the Red Sea, and the white race is going to be thrown into the lake of fire for its plans against the so-called Negro. I shall always rise to your defense against such an artful, wicked race of people who has nothing in mind but the death for the black man. Its scheme covered with a semi-bait of good, excuse me. Once you have swallowed the birth control pill, it is death. Food and health. I have said to eat no peas. At that time, I did not think what we call sweet peas, which grow into pods. They can be eaten, but not field peas. I've referred to, okay, I've said this before, okay, when we get used to eating one meal a day, and blah, 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 blah. Again, you will agree with me that we Americans are very gluttonous people. Yep, I agree with that. And that we prepare our own sick bed, hospital bills, and undertaker bills with what we eat and what we drink. And besides this comes a sick mind, and after a sick mind comes a death. You must try eating and drinking and living at peace with yourself and others, and you will write me and tell me that these words are true. As for the swine, he is well known to be an animal that we should not take for food, because he puts an almost incurable disease in those who eat his flesh. Foods to avoid. Okay. Good health, okay. If you keep going for 20 to 48 hours and do not get the foolish idea that this cannot be done, then we can train our stomachs to eat once a week, and our stomachs will not call for food more than once a week. This could have been tried. This has been tried. If we could eat one meal a day, we could live as long as Methuselah. We can get away from eating animal flesh and all kinds of scavenger seafoods. Do not eat large fish that weigh over 50 pounds, such as canned tuna. Sometimes this canned tuna can come from a fish that weighs nearly 1,000 pounds or more. Do not eat halibut, catfish, or carp. There is a cheap fish called buffalo, white buffalo, that you can eat. But do not eat any stale fish if you can help it. Eating fish is not very good for us due to their animal-like instincts in the water. But we eat them, and it is not a sin to eat them, edible fish. Many of the bass fish that are found in lakes, rivers, and running stream water are good to eat. Whitefish, channel trout, which is better, river trout, and most perch are good to eat. You may eat fish that weigh from 1.5 to 4 or 5 pounds. We were reared on the animal flesh that was divinely prohibited flesh, the hog. Okay, we're going on about the hog. Okay. Eat one meal a day and do not take food between meals, unless you are sick. A person that is sick and weak is excluded from the above said time of eating. Remember, do not eat those ugly horse beans that you have been eating, lima beans, field peas, etc. Eat only small navy beans. Okay. Do not eat freshly baked cakes. Give them a day to dry out. After baking, do not ever hurry bread to bake, because it is better for us if it has been baked twice. Stay away from eating fried foods. Do not make a habit of filling your stomach with aged cheese. Eat cream cheese as much as possible, as it is better for your digestive system. Stay away from eating all meats and vegetables that are canned in metal cans. Yeah, once again, I think there is some, beef equals hormones, vegetables equals pesticide, fish equals mercury. Yeah, exactly. But this was written in 1967 when those things weren't as bad. That's the whole thing. Let's see here. Remember to, stay away from eating all meats and vegetables. Try to get your own food canned in jars, or while the food is in season, buy it and can it in glass jars yourself. If you eat a vegetable meal, try to get fresh vegetables if you can purchase them from a market. Remember to eat one meal a day. Regardless of your type of work, you can live on one meal a day. This will help keep your doctor away from your door. Of course, eating one meal every 2 days or 3 days is even better, but you are not going to apply yourself to eating one meal every 2 or 3 days. So, try to eat one meal every 24 hours. Make a habit of this and you will feel better and have fewer ailments. The safe way to eat. The safest way of all to eat is to stop eating so often, 3 meals a day and meals between those 3 meals. In the past, our appetites were as the appetites of swine. The swine has no certain time to eat. It will eat until it is sick and has to lie down. But as soon as it finds a vacancy in its stomach, it eats more food. It doesn't matter what kind of food. It may be swine. Maybe. The swine eats anything. Allah has blessed America with the best of foods, with good water that is plentiful. America has been blessed with everything that she could desire. But after all these blessings, she is ungrateful and turns good things into bad and wages a war against God of good, the God of good and his people. After telling the slaves they were free, America kept them here in order to prey upon them. Now today, many of the slaves wish to be free of America. But her reply by her actions to our wanting to be free is no, and America continues to give the so-called Negroes the same bad food and drink that her America's fathers did in the days of slavery. America's markets are loaded with swine and loaded with vegetables and fruits which are preserved and made to look beautiful by having poisonous chemicals poured upon them. There are thousands and hundreds of thousands of herds of cattle and sheep, and yet there are hundreds of thousands of fowl. Yet Americans decorate their tables with the divinely prohibited flesh, the swine, and represent themselves as being the true Christian followers of Jesus. Americans have poisonous whiskey and wine by the barrels and vats all over the country, yet, when this does not make them intoxicated, drunk, and crazy enough, they resort to drugs, the poisonous weeds. Allah has blessed them with so much bread that they set whole fields of good wheat on fire. They burn up the wheat in order to obtain higher prices for it. They are crazy over money and wealth. Now today, Allah threatens America with all kinds of plagues, not one kind, but many kinds. Allah withholds the rains from her wheat fields, sends terrific cold and snow upon her fertile breadbasket areas, kills her cattle, livestock, and fowls, and kills her fish that are inland in ponds and rivers with droughts. All of these plagues are falling upon America because she is against God's giving freedom, justice, and equality to the so-called Negroes, whose labor she has had for 400 years, because of America's having broken the divine law, which prohibits eating swine flesh, and because of her having fed this forbidden meat to her slaves and to the other nations of the earth. Allah is now taking his blessings away from her. The poisonous animal eater. Okay, so now we're getting into Leviticus. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. What's going on, you Armbo? The dietary law given to Israel by Moses is true today. Israel was given the proper food to eat. Jehovah approved it for them. And that which was forbidden to eat, we should not eat today. The Christians have said that since Jesus, the swine, is good to eat, because Jesus made it good in his teachings. But this is all false and a shield for the Christians eating the divinely prohibited flesh of the filthy swine. Okay, we're going more into pork and everything else like that. I get why you don't like swine. I myself will probably not eat swine after eating this, but okay, through the eye of the microscope. Okay, where you at? We're talking about trichinosis again. Okay, Isaiah 66:17 condemns the people who think that it is all right to eat the swine just because white people eat it, and they think that they can be holy in the presence of God or in a religion they call Christianity, which they received and have been taught is a God-verified religion. This is wrong. God never verified Christianity as being his religion. If he did, he changed his mind when he taught the prophets to submit to him. His religion is entire submission to him. The Arabic word for this is Islam, which means to submit. There are so many little new groups that call themselves sanctified, holy, Jesusified, Christified, and Godified. Such people should read this chapter, Isaiah 66, verses 17 and 18. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one of the midst, that one in the midst is the preacher, inviting them to destroy the law of God, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. Death is for you who eat the swine. God will not accept swine eaters as his people. After the knowledge that swine is a divinely prohibited flesh, the hog, swine, God has taught me in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. We made from grafting of cat and dog. So yeah, pigs were created apparently from cat and dog. I've heard this also of white folks as well. Apparently we were created from cat and dog and rat DNA. But yeah, The rat is mentioned in the above quoted verse of Isaiah, but the cat and dog are not mentioned. The white theologians knew that if they had given the names of these two animals, the cat and the dog, you would have probably not accepted the hog. But who is better knowing than Allah? The hog was made, for medical purposes to cure the white man's many diseases, since he had been grafted out of the black man. And he attracted germs and diseases easily that were possibly incurable. At that time, the Arab medical scientists did not have anything that would kill most or probably all of his diseases. So they made a medicine for him. That is the hog. The hog contains, Allah said to me, 999 poisonous germs. This is what makes up the hog. And the Christian will look at you with the Bible at home and in his pocket and say, if you do not eat it, what is wrong with the hog? They will even ask you what is wrong with strong alcoholic drinks, whiskey, beer, and wine. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have been reared and taught by the enemy of God, the real devil in person, the white race. Therefore, we are before God today with the sin of the white man, which he offers to forgive us for, if we now will accept the truth and will walk practice righteousness in the path of the righteous. In the 17th verse, the swine is called the abomination. This means hated. It is true that all good Muslims hate swine. Some places in the dominant areas of Islam, you will be killed if you carry any swine among them. See Isaiah 66:18. For I know that their works and thoughts, it shall come, that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. The glory means the right way that he will teach the people in the last days, that he will approve of our doing what he gives us in the resurrection. He knows your works that ignore his law of righteousness, given to his prophets of old, and your self-centered thoughts of your thinking that you can deceive others while breaking the law of God, into thinking that you are right in eating the swine. But he has promised death to you in the 17th verse. He will consume such people altogether. We must remember that these warnings given in the 17th and 18th verses of Isaiah were referring to the general resurrection and the accountability of our actions in disobedience to the law of God, because the 18th verse says, it shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues. This is also prophesied in Matthew 25:32, and before him shall be gathered all nations. Since the white race is more guilty than anyone else of breaking the law of Allah, he threatens with chastisement and total destruction. We may quote Isaiah 65:15. It reads like this, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord God shall slay thee, the disobedient white race, and call his servants by another name. Here we are warned that God will not accept us in the name of the white race, because he has another name that he will call us by, and he mentions this throughout Isaiah and the New Testament. We must have a name of God and not the name of the enemy of God. Isaiah 56 verses 1 through 5. I am sought that ask not for the lost and found members of the black nation are the ones who never sought after Allah, because they did not know how. The enemy did not teach them. Okay, basically that sought me. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. Keep away, keep away from the filthy swine, do as Allah bid you. Do not eat its flesh or touch its carcasses. Yeah. So we're getting to the end here. We got about 20 more pages. We're going to skip some, but yeah. Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, came to give us spiritual life. We cannot be successful in making the progress. Okay. Beauty appearance is destroyed in us, not just our facial appearance, but the most beautiful appearance about us. Our characteristics, the way we act and practice our way of life. We achieve one of the greatest beauties when we achieve the spiritual beauty and characteristics through practicing them. We achieve spiritual beauty through practicing or carrying into practice the spiritual laws. We know that we have been ugly by our enemies' rearing of our parents. We know that many of our people throughout the earth have been made ugly by not practicing culture that we would beautify them. We are blessed by that God Himself visited us to guide us in His way. What people on the earth has God visited in person today, other than you and me here in America? The wisdom that He teaches us is the wisdom and God of the gods. It is supreme wisdom because it is above and far ahead of what we have ever heard and what we see practiced by others today. Shouldn't we not obey that which is good for us when we are members of the nation of good? Why should we not practice that which is good for us? It comes to us as Allah has said that it is ourselves that He is giving to us. Should we not accept the good for ourselves instead of accepting evil and disobedience from the law of goodness when the Bible verifies this truth? Why should you and I not accept such good teaching and practice it? It will do away with sickness and keep death standing outside our doors for a long time, for many years. Think over Methuselah and Noah, who kept death standing outside the door for nearly 1,000 years. Now we cannot stay here 1 century, which in 1/10 of that time we invite death inside the door, instead of obeying a law of God that will keep it outside for a long time. Eat 1 meal a day, stay away from the hog, of which 10 ounces takes away from you. God has said 3/100% of the beauty appearance. This civilization has 1,001 things for you to eat. It is not necessary for you to go around trying to eat everything people say to eat to have good health. But what you eat, let it be good, and do not eat yourself to death at that 1 meal a day. This book has described to you good, common food. You do not have to be rich to purchase it. And I would not like you to follow the Bible in Genesis, where Adam is told to go and eat all the herbs of the earth. There are some poisonous herbs that would have killed Adam. This is the mistake that theologians put in the Bible. You cannot eat all herbs. Some of them will kill you. But eat the best of herbs that God approves of for you and me. And do not think He approved of Adam eating all the herbs of the earth. Okay? Divinely prohibited flesh. Okay, this is going more into, the white race was not made to obey the divine law. They were made to oppose it, therefore following after them. It is no excuse for you, the average so-called Negro, think it is all right for him to be evil too. But we are two different peoples. The so-called American Negro is a divine member lost from the divine circle, while the slave master who has been his teacher is an enemy of God by nature. This is why the Bible teaches you that hell was created for them the day they were made. So, do not practice the evil things that the white race is doing, as you are following them now. If they pull off their clothes, you will pull off yours. Do you think that you have an option to ignore divine law? While you do not, a doom is set for the whole race of them, and you will share their doom with them if you continue to eat and drink intoxicating drinks just because you see them doing such things and going nude in public. Women with dresses above their knees and men wearing just trunks in public. You are following one of the most filthy things that even an animal could follow. By doing such things, white people do this to tempt you to do the same so that you can share hellfire with them. Eat 1 meal a day and eat good food as has been prescribed for you in this book. This guy has never been to African nations where they go around in, topless and stuff like that. Yes? You're free. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. Poisonous food and water. If we eat and drink, if what we eat keeps us, we eat and drink. If what we eat and drink keeps us alive, then we must be careful of what we eat and drink. Living under the guidance of the enemy, right and the God of unrighteousness. Poor righteous so-called Negroes, lost and found members of the Aboriginal Black Nation, poisonous food and water we're now eating. Okay, take for instance the use of fluoride. Here we go. Okay, so this is fluoride. Okay, now we're getting to that. Use of fluoride, chloride, and sodium, which if not used correctly can destroy our entire life. Maybe it is best to find something else that will clear our water without killing both of us and the poison in our food and water. The scientists should not advocate the use of such poisonous chemicals as fluoride, chloride, and sodium, which may have been a bad effect on our brains and our human reproductive organs. The scientists that use such poison on human beings to either minimize the birth rates or cause extinction of a people. DDT, which is sprayed on food while it is growing up from the earth, is also a poison that should not be put into the human body. Regardless of the desire to kill the insects that loves to dine on the same food on which we dine, the poison may not take instant effect on us, as it does the insects, but it can, over the long years, help shorten the span of our lives. We live in a world commercializing on everything where money is involved, and this has speeded production of everything but human lives in order to fill the demand of the people. This has caused many scientists to overlook the dangerous effects of such fast production has on the health of the people. Got a point. Therefore, the only way out for us, the poor, lost, found, is to seek refuge and guidance in Allah for our protection from evil plannings and doings of Satan. Allah, God, has pointed out for us in both the Bible and the Holy Quran that right foods for us to eat, and He has pointed out the poisonous food and drinks. Follow His guidance or suffer the consequences. And once again, He talks about do not eat the swine and everything else. Bad food causes us to look old. Do not eat canned meats if you can help it, or canned beans. If you can buy fresh ones, do not eat meat. Do not eat any canned goods. If you can find fresh food, most of us can purchase fresh food from the market. Some of you buy meats from the redacted stores, and some of you believe that all redacted people are religious Orthodox redacted, and will not eat or sell bad meats. But you are wrong. There are Christian redacted who will eat everything and drink almost everything. The merchandise of these redacted must be shunned if you desire to live. We must use the name Orthodox to refer to religious redacted who want to follow the law of Moses, their prophet, and who want to eat the food that he prescribed for them. The Holy Quran teaches us, okay, once again, talking about pig, poisonous drink, tobacco, 75 or 80 years. Tobacco and alcoholic beverages also affect the organs of reproduction of young men. Basically, once again, it's like, hey, you got to produce as many kids as possible, okay? Come on, kids. Yeah. Little pure food on the market. Black Nation. Devil is a race of people, experimental purposes. Okay. Ooh, I'm getting sleepy. So I think that we've reached the end of this. Let me read at least the last. We're going to read the last entry here. God of right prescribes best foods. We must remember the God of this world, the devil, cannot be taken as a guide for health and life, because he is not such a guide. We must remember the biblical prophecy of a God coming to us, whose aim and purpose is to teach the way of life and the prolongation of life, accomplishing these things through the food that we eat, both physically and mentally, and the set times this food should be taken. The Bible prophecies of his great work of giving to us longer life and the eternal happiness of life without being troubled with the enemy of life and the enemy's effect on life. The God of this world, the devil, had to try to build a world and teach the people something different from what they had been accustomed to. This is why you see so much damage in the way of good to the way of evil. We must bear in mind that the God of this world was made of the essence of weakness, taught wickedness, and trained by a wicked-minded God to destroy the life of the righteous and to change the natural religion of the righteous, the very nature of the righteous. So they would not follow the right course, but follow the wrong course. He introduced the eating of swine flesh, snakes, reptiles, and all kinds of sea fish that can be considered nothing but scavengers of the water, such as the hog is a scavenger of the earth. Shrimp, crabs, oysters, catfish, eels, Water snakes and many other species of the water are all types of beans, peas, and nuts. Were not produced by nature for us to try to use as a diet for our delicate stomachs to digest, not to mention the pig. The enemy of the righteous has gone to the extreme in everything to shorten, waste, and change the way of right. In trying to make a different world and people from the right world of the original people, black people, he has made a hell for us all. The foods that the God of righteousness prescribes are the best foods. Let us accept our own, the way Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, has taught us. We cannot change the white man, or we cannot charge the white man with his way of life, and we follow it. If the white man eats poisonous foods and eats 3 or 4 times a day, that is his business. We have now learned to distinguish the poisonous food from the non-poisonous. Why should we eat poisonous food? We have learned that eating too often causes us to suffer. So, why should we do so? Eat 1 meal a day or 1 meal every other day and see how much better you will feel. There are many different kinds of food that the white man has grown and made. Eat the best of the food that will not destroy your health and bring about a short life. Eat 1 meal a day and 1 meal every 2 days and live. And so there we go. That is the first book. There is a second book, and there is also a kind of an extra book which kind of talks more about the food specifically. But yeah, this world is the devil. Yeah, gluttony is sin. That is true. That is true. So I think we have reached the end of that particular book. I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you would like to, we can also read part 2, or volume 2 one of these days. But we'll pick a day. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that, and I'll go ahead and give my props to my audience right quick. But thank you to Pajabify, Benedict. Yeah, this book could have been summarized in about 5 sentences. Yeah, that's true. Guardsman Gaming, The People's Rooster, Union Army Ball, Neolongus 101, Ole, and I think that's about it. So we'll go ahead and give thanks to everybody there and give you all your props. And I'll see you later and goodbye. But like I said, I will go ahead and play the outro. So I'll go ahead and do that right quick. So, boop. And we'll go ahead and play this one more time.
My little man go to bed so hungry. Get up, go to school with his nose runny. Come home with his nose bloody. His sister laughing, he like, what's so funny? Till she drowned out by the sounds of hunger pains in his tummy. Nothing in the freezer, nothing in the fridge. Couple of 40 ounces, but nothing for the kids. Little man know to eat to live, but he don't wanna leave the crib. The kid who punched him in his face, house right down the street from his. He went anyway, more scared to face his moms. Should be him soon as she flip out, seeing his face scarred. Walking past the dope fiends, what they smoking, take the place of God. Hopes and dreams pouring out the holes in their face and arms. Little man in the face of harm if he don't eat. He need energy, so when he go to school he can't compete and keep up. All we got is bodegas, but hey, he only got enough for a quart of water and an hour later anyway. Grandma say Jesus will be here any day. Good, cause with nothing to eat it's getting hard to pray. Pray.